Hello and welcome to GameSpot's Play for All. We have a special segment here today because we are talking about the champion of Battle Royales. That is Apex Legends, and I am joined by game director Chad Grenier. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, but I'm feeling pretty good because we are recording this. We're having this conversation ahead of EA Play, but we got a little bit of a taste of what y'all going to be showing at EA Play, and boy, it is a lot of stuff, man. Kind of want to throw it to you, though, to kind of, for those who may not have caught it, give a quick rundown of all the new stuff that Apex is showing off.
There's a lot. It's a really exciting time for announcements. So, first off, starting on June 23rd, Tuesday, Lost Treasures collection event is coming to Apex. So, all new skins, tons of new content that you can, purchase or unlock for free by doing challenges and things like that. So there's a lot of really great stuff there. It also comes with a new limited time mode. So about maybe 6 months ago or so, we did a limited time mode called Armed and Dangerous, which was snipers and shotguns only. So we're bringing that back. It was a fan favorite, but we put a slight twist on it. So all of the respawn beacons that are throughout the map that you use to respawn your buddies when they're down, we've deleted them all out of the map. However, we've got a brand new item. So we're adding the mobile respawn beacon, which is an item that you have in your inventory at the start of the match. And you can also loot them from death boxes and whatnot. So it's an item you carry in your inventory, and it lets you call in a respawn beacon anywhere you want. A lot like Lifeline's care package, right? You point it and you call it in, it comes from the sky. So now you'll be able to respawn your buddies anywhere in the map, which is a huge game changer. It's really cool. So that's like on the gameplay side, content, skins, game mode. We also just announced some big bombs, we're bringing the game to Steam. So we heard all the fans like, cool, Origin, what about Steam? Okay, well now you can play on either one. And also Crossplay. So you'll be able to play with your Origin and your Steam and your Xbox and PlayStation friends. You can invite each other and play with Crossplay. And also platform expansion. We just announced Switch.
That's wild, man.
Also compatible with crossplay.
Wow, that's wild. That's probably the first thing I want to get into. Maybe not in too much detail, or as much detail as you can, about how challenging is it to bring a game as big and as detailed as Apex Legends to a much different platform.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. We've been working on it for a while, and it's not without its challenges. But I'll say it's looking really good, and it's running really well. Obviously, it's it's a different platform, and we have to make some changes to the game to get it to run there. And it's got the motion controllers, and so we're supporting that. So that takes some time to support the gyro aim functionality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's coming along nicely, and we're testing it at this point and making sure that it's good to go.
Okay.
So yeah, it's worth it. We're huge fans of Nintendo, so I'm personally really excited to just bring the game to Switch, and I can take it on the go and play when I'm with my kids or whatever.
Well, one more thing about Switch, since it's going to be crossplay, it's going to be obviously caught up with all of the content once it releases, correct?
Yeah, we plan on having all 4 platforms, 5 if you count Steam, in sync with each other, same season, same content, crossplay, all that good stuff. So yeah, it'll be the same game.
Cool. I know that there's been a lot of questions about crossplay, and obviously the more and more it's implemented, the happier the fan bases will be. Because it's an exciting thing to be able to play with so many more players, so many more possibilities, and we've seen it in games such as Call of Duty Modern Warfare. On your end, what does it take to bring a game to cross-play across different platforms?
Yeah, it's mostly just technical challenges. So, the systems are pretty segregated from a tech perspective. They run on the same servers. I don't want to get too technical here, but a lot of the challenges come from making sure that we can intermix the various systems. We've got like all your player data that's stored. So if you're a PlayStation player, there's a file that contains all of your progression and what you own and your player level and all that kind of stuff, right? What skin you have. And now we're crossing streams with like Xbox and PC. and we need to make sure that all that data is preserved and not getting mixed up and whatnot. So there's just a ton of back-end server type work that has to go into it, as well as some front-end stuff like how do you invite friends? So if I'm playing on Xbox and you're on PlayStation, well, those friend invite systems don't work with each other. So now we have to add a way for us to invite each other, which is a new system. I can't send you an Xbox party invite if you're not on Xbox, for instance. So there's some back end stuff, there's some front end UI work. There's a lot of work, but in the end, I think it's worth it, right? Like, we're going to be on all these different platforms. Would love to play with my friends. I play on Xbox. Most of my friends play on PC or PlayStation. So I can't wait to play with them.
Cool, yeah. And coming to Steam is pretty huge for the PC player base. Can you give any insight as to the decision? Was it just player feedback, or did you have any conversations with Valve? How to between you and EA? Like, how does that shake out?
Obviously, EA has Origin, which is their platform for getting games on PC, but EA has a larger initiative to try to get a lot of their games on Steam. It's not just Apex. However, the Apex team has always wanted to be on Steam for a long time, right? We're all avid PC gamers. I have Origin and Steam installed. I've got friends on Steam that I would love to play with. So it felt natural for us to go to Steam. But I think when you're trying to launch a game, you kind of have to pick and choose what your priorities are. And, we prioritized, putting our efforts into making the game great. And now that we're kind of on this really great cadence of seasons and we've sort of hit our stride, now we're looking at, cool, now we can go to Steam. And worked out well with EA's larger initiative to bring their games to Steam. I think that opened a lot of doorways for us.
Now I want to shift over to some of the more gritty details on the gameplay side, because you do have you're bringing back an old mode in a different fashion. Now it seems that it revolves around crypto. Can you tell me a little bit more about the sort of the thematic things around bringing back Armed and Dangerous?
Yeah, so crypto gets his town takeover now. So we've slowly rolled out these legend town takeovers in the map. We got the Octane Gauntlet and the Wraith Void Walker bunker, and of course Bloodhound's town takeover that had the Prowlers in it. Mm-hmm. So crypto's now getting a part of the map. It's called the map room, and it's got a big giant satellite dish on top of this building, and it looks very crypto-y. It's green and white, and it looks like him from a color scheme. And there's some cool gameplay changes in there. If you go into that bunker, it's called the map room because there's a hologram version of the entire Kings Canyon map. So you go in there and there's a button you can activate, and it sends out a blast from the satellite dish, and it actually pings the location of all the enemies in the map on that hologram version of the map that you can see in front of you. So in a sense, you can go there, ping the whole map, and see where everyone is on that hologram version. Now, that doesn't mean you can literally just go find the exact point on the map and go kill them, because, well, it takes time to get there and they'll have moved by then and whatnot. But it's a really cool thing you can do. It also tells you how many squads are in the immediate area, so that maybe you decide you don't want to push the button. If there's a couple squads nearby, they're going to see you activate the dish, maybe seek you out, knowing that you're in that room. So it's a cool gameplay change. It's a lot of fun. I like to go in there and hit it, and then go try to hunt the people that it pings on the map. Usually die trying to do that, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's you guys always incorporate small little changes that kind of actually have big implications for the moment-to-moment gameplay. I remember when the vaults first came out, everyone was going to find vault keys and trying to figure out how to get vault keys, and then all the big fights would happen around these vaults, and I'm just scrambling to get my legendary armor so I don't go down, or I can auto revive and all that good stuff. So yeah, what's it like to kind of incorporate and balance some of those wild new gameplay additions?
Yeah, well, I'll say those additions are just come from innovative designers and people just trying things. So we do play tests every day at Respawn. We play Apex, varying versions of Apex every day. Sometimes we're playing the very next release, maybe we're playing 5.1 before it comes out. We also play test things like some of the content we're going to see in season 10, right? Super far out. It's a year away. We play test that too. And there's just all these crazy things in the works that we try. We throw away 90% of what we do as far as those prototypes. So, like the mobile respawn beacon, it was some idea someone came up with at one point, and sorry, I don't remember who it was. But, they're just like, hey, what if you could just carry these things and just deploy them anywhere, right? And it's like, okay, let's try it and put it with the other 5 things we're going to try in this playtest. And then some things, stick, and some things, undergo a couple revisions, and we sometimes can it. But, that's the fun about working on this game is it's a live service game. The game is never finished. So when there's ideas, we just try them. And eventually, if they're good, they make their way into an update like the mobile respawn beacon or Crypto's map room.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got like 10 more of those really cool things that I would love to talk about, but obviously can't.
Yeah.
And of those 10 things I'm excited about, probably only 5 of them will ever make it into the game. And the other 5 will be like, that was a good idea, but, it's bad for the game, or it's not healthy, or maybe there's a better version there.
Speaking of those ideas that you kind of implement along the way, I think quests have been a kind of a big hit across the board because of its ability to flesh out the characters a bit more, because that's like one of our favorite things about Apex Legends is getting to know the roster, not just playing as them. But quests have been great. What's the feedback been like, and how do you plan on evolving quests, if at all?
Yeah, quests was it was really just an experiment to see how we could tell more story in Apex. We have a team of people who love to tell story. Before Apex, we made a campaign, Titanfall 2, told a ton of story there.
Yeah.
And so then moving on to making a multiplayer-only Apex game, we're kind of left wondering, how can we tell story in a VR game? Is that even possible? And we found ways to do that through transmedia storytelling and our character teases and the dialogue. And so Quest is just an evolution of trying to tell story in a multiplayer game. And so, we've been listening to a lot of the feedback, and I think in general, people are enjoying playing the quests. If anything, the feedback's just been that people want more of that lore and storytelling. So we're finding new ways to bring that content in future seasons. Just listening and learning, and we're trying to evolve the way that we're doing it and find what works best. I think, season 6 may be a little bit different than 5, and that's just us iterating and trying to try new things and see what works, see what doesn't work, and listen to the fans.
And speaking of listening to the fans, I know there's been, I guess you could say, conversations around skill-based matchmaking. Kind of where do you stand? Where do you and the team currently stand on that? And what are some of the ideas you have around maybe changing skill-based matchmaking or iterating on it?
Yeah, it's a hot topic, both with the fans and in Respawn as well, right? So we understand all the feedback that we get from, we look online and we hear about it every day. And we get it, but there's multiple sides to the story. And so we're trying to evaluate all of the data and trying to do what's best for the game as a whole. So it's really tough because you've got, say, some beginner players or mediocre players, kind of middle of the road, and you want them to have a good experience. And so you want them to get into the game, get engaged, get some kills, get some wins occasionally. Because if someone comes in and they try out Apex and they get stomped, they're not going to keep playing the game. So that's obviously not good for the game. It's not good for the players who love the game because, right, we want the game to grow and we want the player count to increase and, so that we keep supporting the game. On the other hand, we have some highly skilled players and it's all over the place. I hear some highly skilled players, right? They just want to go pub stomp and they want to just kill all these newbies, right? Yeah. The newbies don't like that. So we try to create skill-based matchmaking, which has always been in the game, by the way, since launch.
Right.
So we say, okay, well, these highly skilled players, they should play against other highly skilled players and be competitive. This is a competitive shooter. We don't want them just stomping all these beginners and then they have a bad experience, right? That's the two sides of the coin. So we're always trying to find that balance, right? We've got tons of data that we look at. We look at how long are people playing the game, like how many hours. Season 5 is the highest ever. The amount of time people are playing per week on average is higher than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. Retention is higher than it's ever been, even since launch. So we're looking at some really good data that's showing that our game is trending in the right direction for playtime engagement. We just brought in more new players than any other season had. So that tells me that we have a healthy game, high level. I understand there are still going to be some players who disagree about certain aspects of skill-based matchmaking, but if we just look at it holistically, everything is trending really well to a healthy Apex game that gets many years of support.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we maintain that while still making all those competitive players happy, right? And so that's the discussions we have at Respawn, because we want to make sure that those new players and the players who struggle to get wins are still having a good experience as well. And that's why it's so tricky. So we'll continue to tweak, iterate, listen. We're always tweaking things in the back in the matchmaking system. So if people notice things that are, things getting worse or better, speak up, because we're listening, and we'd love to make it right for everybody if that's even possible.
All right, last question. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to answer this, but I am obligated to ask about how Apex plans on transitioning into the next generation, because we've seen Destiny 2 kind of laid out its plans, and Fortnite has laid out its plans. So these other live service-based games have kind of already let us know how they're going to make that transition. Is there anything you can say about Apex Legends doing that?
There's nothing we can announce at this time, but I will say that we are excited about the new platforms. I know Sony just revealed the details about the new PlayStation 5. Mm-hmm. Super excited. Would love to be on those platforms. But yeah, we don't have anything to announce at this time.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. And is there anything else before I let you go that you want to add that maybe we should have touched on earlier?
Just play the game. It's in a great place. Like I said, we've got more players playing, every week than we've ever had, and we've got a great event starting on the 23rd. The mobile respawn beacon is a game changer. We've also got a ton of meta changes and character balance tweaks and nerfs and buffs coming. So check out 5.1 on the 23rd. Thanks for playing and supporting the game. We're super excited to see the success of the game, and we appreciate all the fans out there.
Cool. Props to you and the team at Respawn, because like I said earlier, Apex Legends is the champion of battle royales right now. So if you haven't played, definitely check it out. And there's so much more stuff coming there. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk with us ahead of EA Play, Chad. And best of luck to you and the team moving forward. And for all you fine folks out there, thank you for watching us. We have so much more content for Play for All. So I hope that you stick with us here at GameSpot, and we'll see you there.